Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on 10 games in Fanatical's Platinum Collection of October 2025. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and support the channel in the process. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you, the viewers, for watching my silly videos. I hope they're helpful. Most importantly, knowing that you're watching it means the world. Anyway, let's get into this. And number 1 we have Stronghold Definitive Edition, a faithful and polished return to one of the most beloved castle building strategy games ever made. You step into the boots of a medieval lord once more, tasked with building, defending, and commanding your very own stronghold. Whether you're constructing elaborate fortifications or micromanaging the economy of your bustling town, this game captures the charm and complexity of the original, with just the right touch of modernization. The upgraded visuals stay true to how you remember the 2001 classic look, thanks to crisp textures, charming animations, and detailed environments. From bakers sliding bread into ovens to Fletchers crafting arrows, the world feels alive and nostalgic in the best way. The game also features quality of life upgrades, like modern camera controls, ultra-wide support, Steam Workshop integration, and a doubled unit cap, letting you command sprawling armies like never before. But not everything is perfect. You'll still run into frustrating pathfinding, quirky AI, and the glaring omission of a skirmish mode, a staple for replayability in the RTS genre. While the new campaign is welcome, its brutal difficulty makes it better suited for returning players than newcomers. Despite these flaws, Stronghold Definitive Edition successfully balances the old and the new. If you've ever poured hours into defending your keep from wave after wave of siege engines, this revival will feel like home. For strategy fans, especially those who grew up with the series, this is a must-play love letter to a classic. Welcome back, sire. And number 2 we have DeathSprint 66, a high-octane 8-player foot race set in the bleak future of 2066, where you control expendable clones in deadly competitions for glory and screen time. You will die countless times, but fresh bodies keep the action going, making every race a brutal but exhilarating spectacle. Unlike most racers, this is not about cars, but about pure speed, wall running, sliding, grinding rails, and shoving your rivals into traps. The dystopian setting, ruined skyscrapers, neon-drenched streets, and a satirical media empire adds to the grim yet humorous tone. You will not find a deep story, but the biting commentary on reality TV and monopolies lands effectively, echoing the Running Man's dark satire. Gameplay is where the game shines. Races feel fluid once you learn the ropes, especially with a controller. Wall running in particular is a highlight, letting you flip between surfaces and pull off daring maneuvers that keep each race fresh. Items further spice things up. Bouncing saws, seeker drones, EMPs, and the devastating enraged charge make sure every sprint is chaotic and unpredictable without overwhelming the core racing flow. There's also single-player content like killing time challenges, which demand precision and punish mistakes harshly, but the rush of mastering them makes victory deeply satisfying. Minor issues like occasional respawn glitches or lag exist, but they rarely undercut the fun. DeathSprint 66 may not have had a huge marketing push, but what's here is incredible. Fast-paced, bloody, and brilliantly designed. If you're looking for something unique in the racing genre, you owe it to yourself to dive in. And number 3 we have Mini Settlers, a minimalistic city builder that challenges you to settle islands, expand cities, and design intricate supply chains. Instead of throwing survival pressure at you, it lets you focus on building smart logistics, balancing resources, and steadily growing your population. If you enjoy games like Mini Metro or light versions of Factorio, this will feel right at home. You start small, harvesting resources, setting up factories, and connecting cities with roads, trains, and ports. As your settlements grow across plains, deserts, and icy snowlands, you'll need to link everything into one vast network. The challenge is not fighting enemies, but keeping your systems efficient while unlocking new tiers of buildings. It is satisfying to watch your population grow as needs are met and your designs click into place. That said, the game isn't flawless. Road construction feels restrictive, with routes sometimes clogging up traffic as buildings only allow one entrance or exit. Advanced factories often need multiple resources, but the logistics can get messy fast. Restarting layouts to handle higher level requirements can feel tedious, and later maps sometimes expose the limits of the road system. A blueprint tool or more flexible transportation options would help immensely. Despite these flaws, Mini Settlers remains a cozy and rewarding experience. It is visually clean, runs smoothly, and has a calm pacing that encourages creativity. You can step away, come back, and still find your little cities thriving. For fans of relaxed yet thoughtful automation puzzles, this is a hidden gem worth exploring. At number 4 we have RoboCop Rogue City, a first-person action game by Tion, bringing the iconic 80s sci-fi hero back to life. Released on November 2023, this game captures the spirit of its cinematic inspiration, offering a straightforward yet heartfelt experience. The game places you in the heavy metal boots of Alex Murphy, blending light role-playing elements with plenty of satisfying action. You'll make dialogue choices that slightly affect outcomes, engage in optional missions, and explore a gritty slice of Detroit. The plot is simple, centering on a mysterious new guy in town who inexplicably garners attention from every gang, media outlet, and police force. It is absurd, but it sets the stage for plenty of classic RoboCop chaos. The combat is where Rogue City truly shines. Armed with the iconic Auto 9 pistol and other weapons, you will clomp through levels, dishing out brutal justice with a visceral mix of gunfire and environmental carnage. Authentic touches, like RoboCop's clunky movement and heavy footsteps, immerse you in the role. The weapon upgrade system is quirky, yet rewarding, letting you tailor your arsenal as you progress. Despite some rough edges such as limited ability use, occasional glitches, and a plot lacking depth, the game's charm and love for the source material are undeniable. It is not a AAA masterpiece, but its sincerity and satisfying gameplay make it an enjoyable tribute to RoboCop fans. Tion proves once again that they understand how to adapt cult classics. At number 5 we have Fountains, a 2D Souls-like Metroidvania action RPG that throws you headfirst into a hauntingly gorgeous pixel world and never once lets you coast. You drop, literally, into a forgotten place full of danger, mystery, and surprising beauty. From the first echoing footstep to the chilling drip of water in the shadows, you'll feel completely immersed. The game rewards patience, precision, and curiosity. Rush in blindly and you'll pay for it, usually with half your gold and a trip back to the last Fountains checkpoint. Basically a bonfire. Combat is tight and satisfying, best played with a controller. You'll quickly learn that every dodge and counter matters. And boss battles? Brutal, but fair. You'll need to study their moves, test your timing, and stay sharp, especially since some can be tackled way earlier than you should. But that freedom feels awesome. You'll discover weapons, abilities, and magical items that change how you approach both combat and exploration. Some mechanics like reflecting projectiles feel so core that you wish they did not require an equip slot, but it's a small gripe. The storytelling leans environmental, and it works. Sometimes a mossy ruin or a quiet corpse says more than a cutscene ever could. What really stands out though is the vibe. Johnny Pyrewell's attention to detail, Travis Moberg's incredible soundtrack, and the pixel art combine into something unforgettable. Fountains might have slipped your radar, but if you love tough games of heart, you need to give this one a shot. At number 6 we have REVEIL, a psychological horror thriller that pulls you into the tortured mind of Walter Thompson, a man searching for his missing wife and daughter. You take first-person control as you explore nightmarish worlds, solve clever puzzles, and piece together the mysteries of a circus-filled past. Rather than relying solely on cheap jump scares, the game blends surreal imagery, tense exploration, and moments of real psychological unease that constantly keep you on edge. Early on, you'll wander through flooded circus grounds, haunted houses, and shifting corridors, where reality bends and rooms transform behind you. REVEIL constantly challenges your perception, making you question whether you're moving forward or circling in madness. Along the way, you'll encounter puzzles that feel like escape room challenges, such as unlocking a diary through toy-based clues or manipulating mannequins with lasers. They're never overly complex, but always satisfying. The presentation is a major highlight. The photorealistic visuals, eerie circus-inspired set pieces, and atmospheric lighting combine with chilling soundscape. From crows and creaking hinges to haunting original songs, every detail heightens the immersion. Walter's believable voice acting also makes you feel the weight of his fear and nostalgia. REVEIL is not perfect. The story leans on familiar psychological horror tropes before finding its own voice, and the lack of manual saves or persistent speech logs can be frustrating. But with multiple endings, collectibles, and a gripping finale, the 4-hour journey feels rewarding. If you want a disturbing yet compelling circus of horrors, REVEIL is worth your ticket. At number 7 we have Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, a Metroidvania game with anime-style characters. The game is set in 18th century England, where the Guild of Alchemy tries to prove its relevance by summoning demons using crystals infused into humans. This leads to a devastating massacre, leaving only 2 survivors, Giebel and Miriam, a shardbinder who wakes up after 10 years of slumber. As a shardbinder, Miriam can absorb demonic powers and use them in combat. The game offers a diverse range of weaponry and magic, allowing players to customize their playstyle. The castle where the game takes place is filled with detail, and each area has its own unique personality. The lore of the castle can be discovered through scattered books, and the combat mechanics offer various combos for each weapon type. While the game received praise for its combat and boss fights, some players found it to be too easy when exploring the castle. However, the difficulty can be adjusted, and the challenging boss battles provide an enjoyable experience. One criticism is that it's easy to get lost or unsure of where to go next, as the game allows for non-linear exploration. Acquiring the true ending can also feel like a scavenger hunt, without any walkthroughs. Overall, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a highly enjoyable game. The customization options and satisfying boss encounters make it a recommended choice for fans of the genre, both now and in the future. At number 8 we have Planet of Lana, a side-scrolling puzzle platformer that blends stealth, exploration, and companionship into a beautiful sci-fi adventure. You step into the shoes of Lana, a young girl whose peaceful life is shattered when alien machines invade and abduct her sister Elo. The personal urgency of the rescue mission is quickly overshadowed, but what keeps you hooked is Lana's partnership with her adorable blob-like companion Mui, aka Blobby. Together, you'll sneak past hostile drones, solve clever puzzles, and navigate stunning landscapes that shift from idyllic beaches and meadows to dangerous deserts, caves, and alien machinery. You carry no weapons, so every challenge demands strategy and cooperation with Blobby. You can jump higher, chew through obstacles, and control other creatures, but he's vulnerable and depends entirely on you to survive. Protecting him becomes as important as reaching your sister, and the bond you form makes the journey feel personal. Stealth is often trial and error, but checkpoint placement is generous, keeping frustration low. What truly elevates the experience is the presentation. Hand-painted visuals, fluid animation, and cinematic cutscenes bring this alien world to life, while the immersive soundscape, ranging from natural ambience to mournful vocals and mechanical dread, deepens the atmosphere. The pacing remains engaging across 5 hours, though the story feels underdeveloped and world building is minimal. Still, Planet of Lana delivers a gorgeous and emotionally engaging adventure. If you loved Limbo or Inside, this is another side-scrolling gem worth your time. At number 9 we have Butcher's Creek, a gritty first-person melee survival horror game where you play as a loner, hunting down snuff tapes in a deranged town, only to find yourself the next potential victim. What follows is a brutal claustrophobic fight for survival, with whatever weapons you can scrounge. You'll swing hammers, 2x4s, and even pliers as you clash with sadistic killers in tight grimy corridors where every hit counts. The melee system feels like Condemned Criminal Origins, with a rawer edge. Each weapon has stats for damage, speed, and durability, and knowing when to block or kick is just as important as going on the offensive. Even a thrown bucket can save your skin. Save points are scarce and tied to collectible snuff tapes, which double as upgrades for your health and keys to hidden loot rooms. It adds a clever risk and reward mechanic that constantly ramps up the pressure. Get cocky and you'll regret it. The hit detection is punishing, and enemies can smack you through walls in some spots, which feels cheap but grimly fitting the game's dirty vibe. The story will not blow your mind, but if you enjoy twisted humor and infighting among lunatics, the scattered killer notes deliver some fun. It is short, tense, and full of cracked skulls and weird charm. If you're looking for a quick raw horror experience that makes you sweat in the shadows and bleed for your saves, Butcher's Creek delivers the goods, with a side of gristle. At number 10 we have Slayer's X, Terminal Aftermath, Vengeance of the Slayer, a survival FPS adventure game where you dive into the chaotic world of a teenager's imagination, set against the backdrop of the late 90s FPS modding scene. In this game, you follow Zane, a fictional character from Hypnospace Outlaw, who embodies the awkward adolescence of video gaming. The plot revolves around Zane's creation, a modded FPS game, reflecting his self-centric teenage fantasies. You, as Zane, play a mystical warrior hacker, an X-Slayer, who seeks vengeance against the Psychos for killing his mom and fellow X-Slayers. The game is a fascinating blend of intentional bad design and compelling character exploration. It's a tribute to the amateur aesthetic of early modded games, with level designs that lack flow, textures repurposed hastily, and CGI cutscenes that wouldn't have been possible for teenagers at the time. Yet, these elements are crafted so deliberately that they evoke a sense of charm and authenticity. Despite the amateur facade, Slayer's Axe offers an enjoyable gameplay experience. The weapons are varied and fun, the exaggerated hit bob is reminiscent of 90s FPS games, and the intentionally flawed level design adds to the nostalgia. While the game is not perfect, it is short, has limited enemies and weapons, and you frequently encounter design problems, it still manages to be entertaining. Ultimately, Slayer's Axe stands out not just as a game, but as a unique piece of fiction. It offers a window into a time many will remember, blending edgy teenage fantasies with a narrative that's both cringeworthy and deeply moving. It's an elaborate lie that feels honest, complete with humor and nostalgia. If you're a fan of character-driven stories and nostalgic game design, Slayer's Axe is worth your time. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle feels like one of those mixed bags you either dive into for the trade value or scoop out for a couple of solid picks. Bloodstained Ritual of Night being region locked in some areas is a bummer, but there's still plenty here to grind through. Not the god tier bundle, but definitely worth decent XP for collectors and deal hunters. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.